have no hard evidence, but I've been feeling the buzz around the prospective release of Virtua Fighter 6 very strongly lately. I feel like Sega is definitely working on something and leaving little breadcrumbs and hints about this Virtua Fighter 6 or the next Virtua Fighter game coming out in the near future. I could be wrong, but I'm feeling the vibes, I'm reading the tea leaves, and it just feels like it's going to happen soon, especially because of the success of Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown, where despite what the Tekken Bros said about Ultimate Showdown and the sort of general YouTuber reaction to Ultimate Showdown, I do think that was a very strong step forward towards making Virtua Fighter 6 a lot more of a reality, where Ultimate Showdown isn't the perfect release. It's obviously missing a lot of content that could have been in there, you know, single player content, more customization, all that fun stuff. But in terms of what they were able to work with and what they were able to deliver, I think it was the right move at the right time, setting up what will become Virtua Fighter 6. It's laid the foundation. I'm sure they're going to be using the Yakuza engine for Virtua Fighter 6, and if you just said that to me without Ultimate Showdown existing, you said, yeah, they're gonna make Virtua Fighter 6 on the Yakuza engine, I'd be like, ooh, you know, that sounds a little shady. But you see it in action in Ultimate Showdown, you see how accurate it is to the gameplay, the feel of the series, like imperceptibly different, like plays wonderfully. Ultimate Showdown really has boosted my confidence and hope for what Virtua Fighter 6 will look like. And so I think a lot of other people are sort of getting the vibes that Virtua Fighter 6 is going to come out. And what I want to do in this video is, as a diehard Virtua Fighter fan, someone who really respects the legacy of the series and the purity of its design, I want to make this video to get ahead of the general sort of reaction culture when Virtua Fighter 6, I'm hoping, is announced in the near future, because, you know, every FGC personality and streamer is going to chime in on their thoughts on Virtua Fighter 6.
Yeah, let's just go for nostalgia. So you 100 people who play Virtua Fighter can keep getting the same shit over and over. Yeah, that's an amazing plan. You know, it didn't work in '93. The game series died. No sales. Oh, it's homage. It's nostalgia.
And considering their track record with Ultimate Showdown and the general sentiment that Virtua Fighter should essentially abandon its legacy design and adopt this sort of Tekken-light hybrid type of design so that Tekken players and casuals can get into it very easily, I am not of this mentality at all. And I also don't agree with the sort of overriding view that the best design for games coming out these days is what will appeal to the largest audience, because if you can get a big audience, then you can become a big esport and have high prize money pools in Saudi Arabia and all that sort of stuff. In my opinion, that's not going to happen with Virtua Fighter, even if Virtua Fighter wants to, even if Virtua Fighter tries, because Virtua Fighter is a very pure technical system that is not going to always translate to mass appeal and mass audience, and I don't think that's what Sega wants to do. I don't think that's what Virtua Fighter wants to do, at least that's my hope. And so here are the top 10 things that I, as a Virtua Fighter fan and purist, want to see in Virtua Fighter 6. Beginning with number 1, do not reboot the series. I've been seeing lots of buzz and rumors around this idea that Sega's gonna reboot the series and turn it into this whole other thing. I really hope that's not the case, and I don't think it will be, despite all of these internet rumors. If we're looking at the track record of what Sega's up to so far, looking at Ultimate Showdown, nothing about Ultimate Showdown screams, we're rebooting the series. It feels like a very strong but measured and respectful step forward, which is what I want to see. It's not the most glamorous thing, it's not the thing that's gonna get everyone all excited, but as a Virtua Fighter fan, that is the direction I want to see. And Virtua Fighter has, I think, maybe the best track record across all of fighting games of doing something innovative and different with every title, but in a way that's good and keeps its core player base and keeps its core design intact. You can debate a little bit between if Virtua Fighter 4 or Virtua Fighter 5 is better, but there's nothing in the series that you look at and go, whoa, what happened there? You know, it's such a strong, consistent, well-made series that keeps its purity, that keeps that fundamental balance. But what I don't want to see is this sort of stripping back Strive style reboot. The Strive is essentially a Guilty Gear reboot. I do not want to see a Virtua Fighter Strive where all the legacy Virtua Fighter players and all the hardcore Virtua Fighter players were still stuck on 5, and we're all just sitting there being like, well, back in my Virtua Fighter and all. Don't split up the fan base like that. Don't abandon the core hardcore players like that. Would it be successful monetarily and popularity-wise? Strive has shown, maybe so. But in terms of game design, it would be a massive step backwards, especially since the majority of the fighting game player base out there don't even understand or play the Virtua Fighter system. It's like a brand new system to a lot of players that's very elegant, easy to get into. If people give it a chance, you could tell them, oh, this is a very streamlined Virtua Fighter, and they believe you because Virtua Fighter is already very elegant and streamlined. And so if you're going to casualize it or make it really accessible, basically you just go in there with an axe and just start chopping out gameplay mechanics like taking out stances, simplifying the movement system, all that kind of like sort of stuff. But I don't think that's going to happen, honestly. I don't think Sega has worked this long to make something equivalent.